What's up, guys? So this time in the Photogrammetry urban project, we're going to do the front face of a building. This is a bit more complicated than my previous episodes of doing a sign and doing an electrical box. So if you are new, I would suggest watching those first and then this one. So yeah, basically I got a lot of response on Reddit to create a tutorial for this after my recent post. So that's what I'm going to do. First thing, delete the default cube and default light. Go to the camera, location, backspace, backspace. Move this up about 8 meters or 8 units. We're going to go into shader, shading workspace, mesh, plane. Create a new material, Control T, and image texture. We're going to open the building, and I've linked this a version of this down in the description, so you can download it for free. Yeah, this is pretty much where we are now. I'm just going to stretch this out. One thing you have to consider before doing all of this is try to get a picture as straight on as possible, and also as far away as possible, so we don't get, like, you can see we have this sort of bending from the camera lens. It's not going to be that big of a problem, but if you have a smaller lens, this could easily be fixed. So yeah, what we're going to do is we are going to Control A, unwrap this, protect from view, going to UV editing, and now we're going to match corners. So the thing is, this part here is pretty square. So we're going to actually I scaled this up for some reason. Preview. Okay, so we're going to take this and just about match it. You can see these lines up perfectly in the corners, so that's what we're going to do. I don't want to get the roof with it, because you can make the roof yourself, and then you can build a building as high as you want to, and then place a roof on top of it. So we don't want this, the roof pipes and stuff. The pipe on the side is fine. We can do a lot of stuff with that. So yeah, here we go. Make it all the way to the ground. So as you can see, this creates a lot of problems over here. For some reason, when you unwrap, Blender decides to do this. The way to fix this is simply by adding more geometry. So if we did this, you can see it's pretty much fixed. But we want to have all the details of the windows and all the bricks and stuff. So what we're going to do is press Control R to get out the loop tool. I'm just going to match all these edges. Don't bother going with the, like, if you can see up here, we have an inside edge and then outside edge. Go by the outside. That's going to make most sense. And again, because of the bending on the lens, we can fix this. It's fine. We'll do that later. But just make sure these sort of line up. This is a bit more quick and dirty than what you should do. I would suggest lining this up as best as you can do. Spend time on this. I think when I created this model, it was the one I took the longest, second longest. It took a few hours to do this. So if this takes you hours, it's absolutely fine. It's like we all have different skill levels. So yeah, when you have about, we have outlined these main bricks. So what we're going to do now is line up the windows. You can see here we have sort of these bricks springing out from the bottom. So we're going to try to capture that. Even though we're trying to be precise, again, it's a reminder that this should be in the background. These are not foreground elements, and I wouldn't use them for foreground. This is only a 4K camera, so having them in the foreground would give you like a really close look at these bricks, and they're not that high resolution. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're doing this. windows. The easiest way to do this is just line them exactly on the line to begin with, because most windows will be sort of symmetrical. So if you see here, we have a loop cut. Scroll up have two, and they fit just about the windows. We can do the same here, and the same. Nope, not the same here. And we're going to do it over here too. And as you can see, this the stretching it fixes itself when you create more geometry, so that's really nice. So just the more geometry you have, the more accurate it's all going to be. That's about fine. So now we have all lined up all the windows, but you can see they're all in the middle of these, and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to edge select. We're going to select all these edges that are hitting these. Yeah, you know what I mean. I would do vertical first and then horizontal, or the other way around. It doesn't really matter. It's just to have them separate. It's better. And then we're going to press Ctrl B to bevel and just line these up just about. We can always fix it in the UV editor afterwards. So we have them vertically, horizontally. So now we're going to get them vertically. You can also do these one by one, but it's going to take a bit more time. Yeah. Bevel these. There we go, and we have our windows. And also add one down here. And one of the top, just about here. The black one here is reflections. So, yeah. And we also need them on these. This one's going to be a bit tricky, but I would just do it like this. We can fix this later. Okay, there we go. And we're also going to do it down here. Well, yeah, we're going to do it. Just press G 2 times, and you're just going to move it on the on those edges. And again, rather have them inside this metal stuff than on the outside, because the outside we're going to make to glass material. So yeah. Again, this can take time. Just take your time if you need it. It's like it's a very zen experience just doing this. Put on some synthwave or death metal or whatever you listen to when you're doing 3D stuff. I usually listen to death metal, which for some reason is kind of calming, ironically. We're going to add 2 horizontally on these, and again we will fix these in the UV editor, so don't worry about being unprecise. So yeah, I think first thing we're going to do is fix these, because right now they look, this doesn't fit. So select the whole thing by pressing A, and we can just go into the UV editor and move the stuff a bit up and a bit down. Don't move it too much or you will get stretching. I would also have my camera view just a bit above all of this, just to have an overview of what's happening to the geometry as a whole when you move on different parts of the UV. Most of the time you will be fine, just be a bit cautious when you do this. The car here will look a bit weird, but we're not going to use these reflections that much. I mean, we can, but we don't have to. We can create our own reflections. We can just create a, like, if we're creating a glass material anyway, like, these reflections don't really matter that much. So when we have fixed all of these, we can also do it on these ones up here, but I will wait with those, and you will see why. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into edge mode, and we have to select all of the windows, and this is going to take some time, so this will just be sped up. I found the easier way to do this is press, you know, you can just select these by do this, and then you press Alt Shift on these, and yeah, just make sure to press at the top of the lines, of the edges. I'm sure there's a much better way to do this that I haven't figured out, and somebody is going to point it out in the comments. But if you have a faster way to do this, please tell me, because this is absolute hell, and it's not fun. And sometimes you deselect the wrong stuff, like I just did. And you're just going to select stuff instead. So yeah, we have all the windows up here. Now we need the windows down here. For this, you can see we have sort of a lot of mesh on these. So press C to bring up this tool, and you can just, yeah. The thing is, when you use this, you can't use your camera at all. All your mouse buttons are dedicated to this tool. And now we found our first problem because we haven't, for some reason, haven't created a line on here. So what we're going to do already now is we're going to go into the material, create a new material, press assign. So now you can see we can deselect all of this, go to the new material we just made, press select, and we're going to get all the stuff that has that material. That's a good thing to keep in mind when we're doing this. But yeah, so back to doing this. We create another line here, and there we go. So there we go. Take these, assign them to the new material. What we're going to do now is you're going to select the new material, press select. So now we have all the window planes. Press E, extrude it on the Z-axis, just a bit, it doesn't have to be much, just like 0.005 or something. No, minus 0.005. So we get this. Yeah. And then we press Control plus, and Control plus again. So now we select all the edges of the windows. On this we still have to select the top ones here. Once you've done this, again we're going to extrude it. Oh, also the bottom ones, let's see. And by the way to do like a quick selection in a ring or something is just to press Shift and Control and just select to where you want to go. And I know the UVs down here are sort of weird, we'll fix that. And now you extrude it downward just a bit, for the top windows at least. What we're going to do now is we're going to deselect all the top windows. So press C and just middle mouse cover all of these. Go back into material preview. Just we want some depth in this because this is how this building looks. I know, I took a picture of it. The thing we have to do now though is we'll fix all of the textures later. Go into edge mode again and select all of these edges from here, so we can extrude them outwards because they have this kind of, yeah, You know what I mean, I hope. Oh. And again, we missed something. Extrude it up a bit. Deselect this. Deselect this one and this one. Extrude it up a bit more. Just a tap. And then select all of the bottom here. And just give that a good extrude. Because this is an area where you can sit and stuff. Just give it just a few edges down here just to support the whole thing. So yeah, now we've pretty much created most of the geometry. A few things we can still do is we have these, I don't know, is this a gutter on here or whatever it is? I would simply, again, go on top of all of these. It's fine, we'll extrude them inwards anyway. Again, double G to move along edges. Three of these. Going to face mode, select all the faces. Extrude these bastards just all the way down. Now you can see we have a whole lot of like geometry down here we don't want to have because we don't need the ground geometry for anything. So what we can do is again press this, shift control, press over here, shift control down here, up here. Delete faces, and just you can do it at the sides too. I would just leave them, honestly, because you're not going to see them anyway. Though I would take, these down here. View, project from view. This thing, just scale it to. Like, find a material that sort of is the same. You can, it'll look okay. Again, from a distance, everything looks fine when you do this sort of stuff. And you shouldn't really be looking at this stuff up close. Again, because of the quality of the photographs. And there we go. So. And what I like to do with the windows is often I'll use the same material. I'll give it like just a heavy metallic. No, sorry, I'll create a new material from the same material. Give it a heavy metallic or like just specular, turn the roughness all the way down, and we have this. It looks like a window. Plug in some noise or like some scratches or something just to give it a look. Dirt wipe, yeah, give it a dirt wipe. There we go. Alright. There we go. They look like dirty windows. And again, give this a value. Pop it in here, set it to 5, whatever. There we go. So now you can see we have the textures up here, which looks really bad as of now. So we're just going to select all of it. Press U, project from view. Go into UV editing. Take this up here and like it's fine if it stretches. We're not going to see this from the top anyway, not much. This one down here might be a problem, so if you can get, we can do it this way. There we go. So yeah, and again, when we have these problems sometimes. Well, we can just, I would select these panes in here, because as you can see we have the metal things going inside them, and I would just select them individually and just scale them down just a tad. Like, if we take all of these, select all by pressing A, go into, I don't know what this is called, and then select individual origins and just scale it down a bit. Because now you don't have the weird metal bars around the sides. And again, we can continue to fix these textures. I'll probably speed this up because it's not really that interesting. It's mostly just what we've already done anyway. So, the last thing we need to do about the model itself right now is we're going to add a modifier. We're going to add a bevel just to take care of these edges, and as before, keep the angle at about 30, maybe turn it up to 50 or 70. Go to geometry and remove this clamp overlap. And then while pressing shift, just turn this amount down, like way down, like 0.005 or 6 or something, and give it a few more seconds. And then go into this, and we are going to auto smooth, select it, shape smooth. Yeah. So the last thing we need to do is to go to shading, which is always the fun part. So yeah, let's review GPU, give it an HDR. There we go. You can select another one. I like to use this Studio HDR just because it gives something good to reflect. You can see these windows, like they shouldn't have this smooth shading. They look kind of like the bending. So what we're going to do is go into the material window, go to the material, edit mode, select, and press space, smooth, and flat. Flat faces. So there we go. That's a bit better. Nice. Then okay, let's just adjust this. 0.001 maybe. Yeah, that's better. Okay, awesome. So we're going to give this some texture. Find your material, and again we're going to make this one our height and roughness map. So what we can do is make a color ramp, put the color into the factor, and shift control click it. You can see actually this one has, the only problem we have are these should be going downwards, not outwards, but the rest of like this would fit for a height map. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the white, take it a bit down, press Ctrl here, and then turn that one dark, and then we can just switch these around until we find something like, okay, maybe the best thing we can do is just invert this. Yeah, let's invert it instead. Find the bump map, bump, plug it into the normal. Again, you can see something weird is happening when you do this. So the stretch would be about 0.2, maybe 0.1. And yeah, you can adjust this to your liking. I think that's pretty much it. And also plug into the roughness to give it a bit more roughness. And that should do it. Now you have a building. You can do this with pretty much any surface of anything really. It doesn't have to be building. It can be anything, and you can even, like you see we have these lamps. We could go into edit mode and we could like cut these lamps out, and we could extrude them. So we have like, now we have a lamp, I guess. So yeah, that's going to be it for this time. I hope you have enjoyed or maybe learned just something. Like even the smallest learning experience is still a learning experience. So yeah, thank you for watching, and to all the guys who downloaded and especially those who paid for my collection of urban environments, thank you so much. It means a lot. Take care.